Hello, my wandering soul. I'm so happy that you found your way here. Today's reading has the energy of crossroads. I feel you are at a turning point in your life that will impact your path forward or your future in some way. There's a feeling of overwhelm, maybe procrastination, or stuckness as you face this juncture in your life that is asking you to decide this way or that. On the positive end, it could be great opportunities or many wonderful options for you to choose from, and you're not sure which one would make you happiest or be the most fruitful. But on the negative end, it could be a decision that creates tension, division, or bring about difficult change. I believe that there are no wrong decisions, just different ways of getting to your destiny. And on each path and with each decision, there are both lessons and opportunities. But ultimately, we end up where we need to be and where we're meant to be. So let's clarify your crossroads energy in this reading today to help you navigate it with a little more ease. Remember that the cards that I draw here today are not about telling your future or giving you instruction. They are simply here to offer you a fresh perspective and remind you of the power that you already carry within you to shape your future. However, if today's message doesn't feel like yours, it may be for another traveler, or it may reveal itself in time. Either way, please use your discernment and take what resonates, leaving the rest behind for someone else. Because I had a feeling you'd stop by today, I have chosen 3 soul paths for you to choose from and 3 crystals. Before choosing, take a few deep breaths, settle in, and set an intention to receive what serves you most. And when you are ready, follow your intuition to the pile that calls to you. You'll find the timestamps in the description box. For those who would like a close-up of the cards to help in making their selection, let me do that right now. For Soul Path 1, we have the opalite stone. For Soul Path 2, we have the peach moonstone. And for Soul Path 3, we have the rainbow obsidian. So with that, I will leave you to select the pile you're intuitively drawn to, and I look forward to connecting with you in your reading. Hello, my dear Soul Path 1. Welcome into your reading. You chose the opalite stone. I feel like the crossroads that you are at currently involves emotion or creativity. I feel like you're trying to get to the truth of something, the truth of your emotions, the truth of someone else's emotions. And things are either cloudy or slowly becoming more clear. So there's a question of, will this be clear? And will this become clear eventually? So let's get an oracle card to open the reading on your crossroads, the energy surrounding this crossroads that you are currently finding yourself at. And then we will get into the details of your crossroads with the tarot. So you have 3 here, which I did not intend. I wanted to get 1 card. I thought I had 2, and now I have 3. So there's almost a third option that you can't see here. There's a third perspective, a third answer, a third choice. So it's not just this or that. There's the in-between. Or there's the both and option. Maybe there's a combination of the 2 options or choices that you have to make that could create a fresh option. So we have the peacock with vanity and pride with the number 12. We have the bottle tree with meditation and intercession. And we have the mockingbird with prophecies and communication. And I'm seeing a through line here with all of the colors. The color blue could be quite significant. So again, the color blue is inherently tied to water, and water is inherently tied to emotions, feelings, creativity. There's divine feminine energy of receiving. And I got that with this communication keyword in this mockingbird card. And with these cards, I do see a progression. So you have 12, 29, and 39. So there's something about a progress happening in this particular situation. With the peacock, I'm getting a sense that there is pride involved. So whether that is your pride or someone else's pride, I feel like there is pride in the situation that is either preventing someone from expressing something, or maybe you stepping into more pride within this situation, you having to show your true colors, share who you are, express yourself in some way, possibly through some kind of communication that could be written, that could be verbal, but expressing some kind of emotion is what I'm getting here. And that may help you move forward. That may help you find clarity by expressing something and not holding something in. With this bottle, I immediately get someone's bottling their emotions or holding back how they feel, which is creating a stagnation or a stalemate. It is blocking flow of something. So I immediately get this energy of needing to share how you feel very vulnerably, but also using your discernment with who you're sharing with. Is it safe to share with them? Are you able to communicate with them in an authentic way, and to not have something be held against you? And that could be part of the message here as well, is possibly using your discernment to figure out what to communicate and how to communicate with that person. Maybe it is with an expression. Maybe it is with a lot of vulnerability and showcasing who you are, showing your true colors. But maybe there's a little bit more tact or logic or emotion-less expression that is needed so that things stay on the surface level. So I'm getting two different kinds of potential situations or potential crossroads here, and maybe both of those things are involved in this situation. Maybe there are two people involved that have very different ways of communicating as well. And I apologize, I thought that said meditation, but this actually says mediation. So, and it's interesting, it's between the two birds. So I almost get this idea that you may need a mediator, somebody with a neutral perspective that can help you communicate more clearly or try to figure out some answer to a question that you have about this situation. And what is interesting in this bottle tree as well is the glass aspect of things. And this opalite crystal that you chose is very glass-like in nature. So there could be something about you wanting to fulfill a dream, you trying to break through some kind of illusion connected to this crossroads or situation, and maybe even tap into imagination or creativity a little bit more as well. So there could be some fantasy or imagination or dream being rewritten or understood or becoming more clear. It almost feels like a reality check, and that gives you the confidence to know how to move forward. Because when we are wrapped up in the idea of what we would like a situation or a person to be, it can be really difficult to be logical and to be really grounded in any kind of decision or see things for what they truly are. And it prevents us from being really clear and truthful with ourselves when we are so tied to the idea of something or the potential of something or the dream of what it could be if only it had more time, if only you did this, that, or the other thing. So I really feel there's a groundedness coming in, a clarity coming in. And this, while I feel could be, I won't say a potential shock, but the clarity, it almost feels like a breath of fresh air because you can see things for how they truly are. And you can make better decisions, more clear decisions, more insightful decisions, or maybe even more find creative solutions because you're seeing things without the rose-colored glasses, if you will. And there is an awareness, an overall awareness that I feel is coming through on the other side of this crossroads. So I'm going to pull some tarot cards now. I'm going to put this one over here for now. We're not going to pull any cards at the end. So I'm just going to put the mockingbird over here, just so we have room for the tarot. So for Soul Path 1, let's get some details on this crossroads. They currently find themselves in Soul Path 1. Let's get more details on the current energy of the situation. We have the Seven of Cups in reverse here. 2 more. And one more, and then we will read the cards here. Okay, so I'm going to switch this around again, just so that we have room for all of the cards. Okay. So this crossroads, I feel, is equally an ending as it is a beginning. And there is some emotions involved here with the 10 of Cups and the 7 of Cups in reverse. But I feel with the 7 of Cups in reverse, you've really clarified how you feel about something. Maybe you have been able to discern what your emotions are, what your feelings are, what your desires and dreams are, and what other people's desires and dreams are that you have maybe taken on from the past. I see your dreams, your hopes, your wishes here, but I feel there's something that has shifted within you that is bringing you to this crossroads. You have understood that you cannot please everyone. You cannot follow the pathway that everyone expects you to or wants you to. So there's something about you choosing something for yourself here. I don't feel like it's going to take you away from people. I think it will simply amplify your personal aspirations, your personal hopes, your personal dreams outside of the communities, the friendships, the family networks, the relationships that you have in your life. I feel like there's a choice about what you want to do here, what you want to aspire to, what you want to follow. So this crossroads is coming to you now because you've understood something about your dreams, your wishes, your desires, how you're feeling within yourself, within your life. And that is creating a shift in the dynamic or a shift in focus. There's a new path here that you want to walk. This feels inherently risky because does require you to take action in a new way, to possibly change the focus or shift something in the dynamic of a relationship or a community or a family network. But ultimately, it feels like you're ready to step into who you truly are, or express something or do something that you've always wanted to do. And maybe this has been a little bit hidden or put aside because there's so many things that maybe other people need at this time, or there's responsibilities that you have to take care of within your life, and you're trying to maintain this balance. And I do believe you're going to continue to maintain this balance as you pursue this new thing. It could be a new creative hobby that possibly turns into a business. It could be a new workshop or creative course that you're taking that helps you with the self-expression. Something is being ignited here, and you would like to follow that path. Now, if you had any worries or doubts of, I don't want to choose this, if I choose myself, then I'm saying no to my friends, my family, my community, I do not see that that is the case here. So if that's something that you're worried about, I do see that it will be a fine balance is what I'm hearing. It's going to require you to create equal amounts of time for each one of these things. Again, family, friends, heart-centered connections, relationships, your communities that you find yourself in, that still needs to be nurtured. But don't forget about yourself is what's coming through here. Now, with the Chariot at the bottom of the deck, you are going to be successful. You are going to find beautiful balance between what you have done in the past and what you would like to do. And with this mediation of energy that I was getting at the very beginning, there's like this balance again coming through, and it needing to be mediated, maybe by a neutral party, maybe a friend that can help you maybe organize your time or work through some kind of strategy, work through some of the details to help you maintain that balance. Somebody that doesn't have an emotional investment in this particular thing that you're doing. And it will require communication as well, communication with the people in your life so that they're fully aware of what's going on, why it's happening, and why you feel this is important to you. But overall, I do feel like whatever this is, it feels very powerful. It feels very expressive. It feels like the spark of something new that you're going to be excited about, but it will require nurturing. It will require you to not only plant the seed, but give it time, love, energy, nutrients, just like you've done in all of those personal relationships. I do think clarity is coming. If it hasn't happened yet, it is on its way, and the fog will clear. Now, if you are finding yourself in this particular foggy energy, then it's time for you to have patience in this process. Don't rush this process, and to find spaces in your life, physical spaces, or it could even be spiritual or mental spaces, where you give yourself time to settle the energies and to release all of the opinions, advice, emotions from other people that they have maybe given you to consider that may not necessarily be helpful. When we get too many opinions and guidance and advice from too many sources, it clouds our own judgment and our own feelings about something. So find a way to connect back in with your own senses, your own intuition, your own instincts about this particular crossroads that you find yourself at. And maybe that is why you're feeling like you can't decide, because there is this pressure or this need to decide one or the other. But again, I'm coming back to the beginning where I thought there was one card, there was two, and there was a third hidden. So I feel like there is another option, and that both and is coming through here with both of these cards, but also with the Two of Pentacles and the Chariot, with that divine feminine energy, with the emotions, and that fiery divine masculine drive, that ambition, that pursuit of something new. Both can exist here. And I feel like you're going to do a beautiful job in execution. So don't worry. I feel like whatever this crossroads isn't something that you have to choose between one or the other. It is, how can you integrate a little bit more of who you are and carve out more time for what you want to pursue in your life while still nurturing the relationships and the people that are supportive of you and whatever journey that you take along the way. So this is what I have for you, my dear Soul Path 1. I hope that was helpful. Thank you for visiting and sharing your story with me. It was such a pleasure, and I wish you luck on your path ahead. Until we meet again, stay curious, and we'll see you soon. Hello, my Soul Path 2. Welcome into your reading. You chose the Peach Moonstone. Now, there's something about fruits of your labor here. And I'm also seeing watermelon, so there could be something about summer. Summer could be quite an important month or season for you. Harvesting fruits of your labor as well. So there's something about putting in some hard work into something and you reaping some kind of reward. So there's almost a question of, how do I do that? How do I work hard and get reward for that? Maybe you're opening a business. Maybe you are in pursuit of something and you would like to see the rewards of that pursuit, whatever it is, a career, a job, a relationship even. So let's get some opening energy with the Oracle, and then we will get Tarot to get more details about your crossroads for Soul Path 2. What's their crossroads about? We have the Crystal Grotto, Energy and Cosmos. I'm going to get one more for a little more context. One more for Soul Path 2, please. There's definitely a lot of energy in what you are considering, what you are working towards. Maybe a lot of spirituality. This could be a spiritual pursuit. And the Alligator, Silence and Introspection. And the Crystal Grotto is number 11, and that is the Justice card. And Justice is about, it is connected to Libra, so it can be about peacemaking and diplomacy and doing things in a very balanced way, in a very diplomatic way. And then we have the Alligator, Silence and Introspection. So I'm getting also a lot of Hermit energy with this. I'm with the Silence and Introspection. I feel like you have been in a period of introspection. You have been flying under the radar, but maybe your aspirations or the things you want to achieve require you to step out of the water or to be seen in some way. Your true colors, showing your true colors, is something else here, or maybe aligning yourself to something that feels very connected and aligned with you, spiritually speaking. So it's almost like this silence and introspection has allowed you to tap into some kind of higher energy, source of energy, or maybe even your higher self. So maybe your higher self is leading you through this. And this feels very judgment energy as well, where you are being asked to follow a new path and rise to the occasion, to follow that in some way, to move yourself out of playing small or a particular situation that isn't benefiting you in the highest good. So there's this call to do something that's more aligned, more spiritual, that has a grander purpose beyond your world. And it is requiring you, it is pulling you out of this silence and introspection. But I feel silence and introspection has been a very integral part of this process. And it may have even led to an awakening of some kind. And this awakening is having you question, what now? Where do I go next? Who am I even? So there's a bit of a dark night of the soul where there's been an ego death, and you are questioning what you would like to do, where you would like to go. So there's a lot of big questions that are happening in this space, which is why this crossroads has appeared, is because there is something new here, something promising, something exciting that is more aligned to this new frequency or this energy that you have created. And silence and introspection could also be some guidance as well. If you are feeling like you don't know the answer to something, then disconnection from the external world, if only for an hour, a day, etc., will allow you to connect in with your true energy frequency rather than being subconsciously influenced by other people. Now, going back to the fruits of your labor here, I almost wonder if you've worked really hard to get here. And now that you're here, it's almost as if the work is beginning, the new work is beginning. So there's a question that you're having about when will the work be over. It's almost as if you went on a quest to uncover something, to understand something, and with that comes clarity, but also more questions. So there's a feeling of, when will I reap the rewards of this enlightenment or this journey that I've been on? So the Hermit is coming through really strongly here, actually, in both of these cards. So this may be a time up and coming to step out and finally implement what you have learned, what you have understood, maybe walking a new pathway as well. Let's get some details on your crossroads now. And let me know if this is resonating with you so far. For Soul Path 2, what is the current situation or energy surrounding your crossroads? I want to look. Yeah, the Fool in reverse. That definitely feels like it's there, but it's not quite ready yet. So there is a new, fresh start, but I don't think you have quite the clarity that you need to start it. And I think this is why. We have the Death card in reverse. So there's a lot of metamorphosis happening right now. There's a lot of transformation happening right now. Even if things in your physical world are not transforming yet, there could be an impatience and a frustration with this. But there's certain things that you are subconsciously or internally letting go of, restructuring. And this death energy can be a slow process. This is a slow decay of something that is no longer serving you. So again, it's not like it is happening in the physical world where you are cleaning house or you are shedding things within your home. This is more of a spiritual nature. This is something that is occurring quietly. So let's get a couple more cards for the challenge and the path choices ahead of you. What is this crossroads in more detail? So we have the Nine of Cups and the Eight of Swords in reverse. Let's get one more on how you got here. Two more, actually. And then some guidance for you. Okay. Okay, so there's your spirituality here. What you don't see, we have the High Priestess at the bottom of the deck. And your guidance is the Four of Pentacles. The root and how you got here is the Seven of Cups in the upright. So this makes a lot of sense. And when I said isolation and creating sacred space for yourself to think and to feel into your own energy, I feel like there's Soul Path 1 had a similar theme, but very different situation. I feel like with the Seven of Cups, there's a lot of feelings, a lot of desires, a lot of emotions that are involved. And this may not all necessarily be yours. So it's what your friends think and feel, what your parents think and feel, what your boss thinks and feels, or your coworkers, etc. And it all gets bundled up into your energy body, your emotional body. And maybe a lot of it makes sense, but there are differing opinions. There are maybe contrasting opinions or feelings, and you're not really sure how you feel about it. So there's a fogginess, there's a lot of desires, but not really a clear idea of where you would like to focus first, because there's a lot of options, a lot of opinions, a lot of feelings that you have to parse through in order to make some decisions. Now, this is a test of emotion. Sevens are usually divine tests to help us figure out what it is we truly want, we truly need, and we truly aspire to achieve in life. And so I feel that that is pushing you into this energy of, I have to shed some things. I have to let go of some of the opinions, the feelings, the emotions that are not mine right now, so that I can really tap into and tune into where I'm being drawn, where I'm being pulled, and how I can make decisions based on what I truly believe and feel and what I trust to be true for me. I do think that you're going to find some sense of personal enjoyment. You're going to figure out what's truly going to fulfill you, what's truly going to create satisfaction in your life, fulfillment in your life. But I should say, the Eight of Swords in reverse is this energy of you having to release the limitations that you have placed on yourself to achieve such things, such desires, such feelings. And so there's these two things happening, that you aspire to be here, you want to be in this energetic space of fulfillment and satisfaction and joy, but there could be some limiting beliefs that you have that you may not know are there until you start to question and really tap into the subconscious of that energy. And so these limiting beliefs can be people that have told you you can't, you won't, you never will, you're not talented enough, you're not good enough, whatever the stories are that you have inherited from possibly your past. And maybe this is part of that foggy energy that you're feeling within your emotional body, is because of the stories that you have personalized or taken on as your own, when really you believe in something different because you're being drawn to a specific desire or a specific direction. There is a reason. It feels like your higher self is here coming through to say that you can. You can achieve that thing. You don't have to play small. You can be joyful. You can be happy. However, there's some limiting beliefs that I believe you are shedding or are required to shed in this process to release the things from your past that have restricted you, restricted your movements, have shut off your intuition or closed down those instincts, those natural instincts that you have about who you are, where you would like to go. So part of the guidance here is there's something about getting to the root of something here, getting to the root, the practical root. So it's not necessarily in the emotional body to figure out how you feel, because sometimes our feelings can be triggered by stress, by anxiety, by expectations. So I think there is a practical aspect to this that you need to tap in and tune into first. maybe you preserving time, energy, money, and space to think of some of the ways in which you can practically look at some of your limitations. They could be actual limitations or they could be perceived limitations. And you writing those down so that you can figure out, where did that come from? How can I release that? How can I let go of that? Because with the death in reverse here, it can also indicate something that needs to be released, but there's a repetition of sorts. And I feel you are going to get to the bottom of what that is. That's what I'm feeling with this Four of Pentacles, is you will get to the bottom of it. And there's something here about limiting your resources as well. What are the practical ways in which you are achieving that in this moment? Are you spending time, energy, and or money in trying to work something through, in trying to move you forward? Or is this something that you're ruminating on at this time, which is keeping you stuck and stagnant? There could be an aspect of saving, physically saving money for something you would like to do as well. So that could be some practical advice. If money is involved in this and you need to pay for a course or pay for professional assistance or maybe pay to be able to build a business of some kind and have that cushion to start from, then maybe that's the first practical step, is to start saving that money and to not let your current limitations dictate whether or not you do that. So what are the ways in which you can reduce those limitations or remove those limitations or change your perspective on those limitations that you might currently be working with? Now, with the High Priestess at the bottom of the deck, I do feel like this is a spiritual path. This is something that feels quite aligned and very intuitive. So if your intuition has been feeling a little bit offline, going back to focusing on self, spending time to focus on your joys, focus on your pleasures of life, focus on the things that you desire to do, will help you get into an energy of balance. The High Priestess is also about hidden knowledge as well. And because it was at the bottom of the deck, there is this sense of hidden knowledge, of knowledge that comes to you quietly or in silence, possibly in introspection, where you are carving out that time for yourself and giving yourself or restricting access to you, and also restricting the activity within that space as well, so that you can hear your own intuition. What does it have to say? There's a lot of wisdom here, and there's a lot of higher guidance that is trying to come through for you. There's a new shift in frequency that is happening here. And in this space, this is where the new insights, the new inspirations, the new joy comes through, is when you give yourself the time to explore without judgment, to express, to be curious without any limitation of what could be, and really opening yourself up here to the possibilities. So this is what I have for you, my dear Soul Path 2. I do hope that was helpful. Thank you for visiting and sharing your story with me. It was such a pleasure, and I wish you luck on your path ahead. Until we meet again, stay curious, and I'll see you soon. Hello, Soul Path 3. Welcome into your reading. You chose the Rainbow Obsidian. There's something here about you appreciating the darkness. Because you can see the colors, you can see the light in the darkness, you can see opportunities in the darkness. So when you have a lot of questions about life, or when you're feeling challenged, it's equally difficult as it is inspiring to you. But that also could be a little bit of guidance as well, is that if you are going through dark times. Look for the rainbows. Look for the light. When we think about a storm, for example, sometimes the sun can peek through the clouds, and your literal depiction of light is the sun. It's warm, it's bright, but the clouds threaten to cover it, the dark clouds, the storm, and maybe it does. But for those moments where the sun is out, if we look in the opposite direction, we will see that rainbow. And it might not be that literal depiction of light, but it's happening because of the darkness. It's happening because there's that glimmer of light. And it's happening because of the storm and not necessarily eliminating the storm. So it's almost as if you might have to work to find the light, work to create the light even, and to find different things in your life that you can lean on for hope, for support. There's something about gratitude coming through, so having gratitude for the little things that you do have. So if you have a comfortable home and a bed and maybe a pet or a good friend or family, I know that may sound a little cliche, but that's how I've gotten through some of the darkest moments of my life, is to not look at the pain and the struggle, even though we need to in order to grieve it and process it and understand it, but that's not all that exists. So there's that suggestion coming through there. So let's get a card to open the reading about your crossroads. And we have the crossroads card. Yeah. So we talked about opportunity in the darkness, and it says on this card, road opener and decisions. So I feel like there are some decisions that you may have to make or need to make. And isn't that a lovely thing to have decisions even in difficulty? There's always a choice, is the feeling that I'm getting. And that this isn't the end, that there is other options. There is other possibilities here. And look at the background, the sky here matches very similarly to this sky, or pardon me, this rainbow obsidian here as well. Number 20 is also the Judgment card, which is rising above the ashes. It's very Plutonian energy. And Plutonian energy is very challenging. It is the Great Renewer. It is the ruler of the underworld, the unseen. So there could be a lot of things subconsciously coming through right now. There could be some things from the past that are coming up. But don't see that as a bad thing. I feel like it could possibly be happening because it is time to address it and let it go, or to process it and heal it, and maybe even to see how you've grown and to see your own light in this experience. Ultimately, Pluto is death and transformation as well. So there's lots of transformation happening in the collective right now, and in your reading specifically, that you may not see. So patience and creativity. With the blue heron. And I'll just show you that card. So yeah, as challenging as it might be to hear, patience is a virtue. I believe that patience is going to help you through this as well. It is a process. It's not something that you can fix, that you can turn away from, that you can escape from. It's something that you have to move through. And I feel like there is going to be creativity in this space. So again, I'm seeing the colors in the darkness, and I'm seeing colors in the darkness in this particular card here. It's almost as if there's something inspiring in this space. There's an opportunity in this space that you may not see, because all you can see is the road, the challenges, the difficulty, the darkness, and that's not a judgment. It happens when we move through challenging spaces in our life and having to maybe make some difficult decisions. It's hard. We have to acknowledge that. It is hard. It's not, we shouldn't discount that, absolutely. But don't forget that there are opportunities, there are inspirations in this space for something new. And I'm also seeing these lilies here, and lilies are a flower that bloom from sludge in bodies of water. So they get planted at the very darkness of the pond or the lake that they're in, and they follow the light to then bloom at the surface of the water. So that is very metaphorical to what's happening in this space for you at this crossroads. Is you are not being buried, you are being planted. And that is what the darkness is that you are being planted. So it's important that you do follow that light. You do find that light somewhere. And maybe creativity or creative expression will help you through this. Writing, painting, expressing in some way may help simply move the energy. Let's get some more details on your crossroads. We're only pulling tarot today, so we won't be getting any other oracle cards, keeping it simple. Let's see, your current energy or the situation. Look at that. We have the World. And it is in reverse. So the cycle is not yet complete yet, but it is completing. It is in the process of completing. And it is the end of something pretty significant. So whatever you're going through, it could be Dark Night of the Soul, where there's been an ego death, and now you have a lot of options, a lot of questions about your future and who you are. We have the Two of Cups here. It could have to do with a relationship or even your divine feminine and divine masculine. So there's like a switching of energies here. Maybe you've been in a divine masculine for a really long time where there's been a lot of ambition, there's been a lot of success, a lot of drive, and now you're being asked to move into that divine feminine of allowing and receiving and going with the flow. We have the Eight of Swords in reverse here. Let's see how you got here. How did you get here at the World in reverse? There's alchemy here. There's transmutation. With this Two of Cups, that's what I see. So again, that transformation between darkness to light. And the Lover's card. This is a choice card. This is about aligned and divine choices. We're going to get one more card. Guidance. I believe I saw the Hanged Man. So again, patience is could be possibly part of your guidance here. And getting yourself willingly into an uncomfortable position in order to move things forward, in order for growth to occur. Magician. Okay. What you don't see is the Ten of Swords in reverse. There's something being healed in this space. There's something being released in this space. This could have to do with your mental health, or maybe some mental loops, maybe some stories that you've told yourself as well, or some deception from someone else. Maybe someone else really hurt you, and this is now time to heal. It's coming to the surface to heal. And it may not come from that particular person that may have hurt you or caused you harm or pain. It could be coming through a different channel. So if one friend or a partner in your past did something to you that really hurt you, this is something that you've carried maybe as a story or a limitation within yourself. And now it's coming up through a different kind of experience or a different kind of connection. And this is time for you to heal it, to transmute it, and to turn it into gold. And that was what I was feeling when I tapped into your energy through the crystal, is that there is something here. There's coal that you are turning into gold. There is darkness that is transmuting into light. So transformation is coming through very strongly here. There's new creativity. And that is coming through here in the Magician as your guidance. Use the resources that you have to create something that you would like to create from this space. So if there's something from the past that has been very painful, and maybe you've already found some healing from this already, how can you move that energy forward? How can you use that to your advantage? How can you use that to your benefit, to your highest good, to create something new, a new experience, to move yourself forward is the feeling that I'm getting. Because there's a big cycle that is ending here. And it could have to do with relationship to others, possibly you and a romantic partner, but also the relationship that you have to yourself as well, and how that is coming into alignment is what I'm hearing. Now, this could have to do with some of the past choices that you have made, because the Lovers can be about choices. Twos can also be about choices, and we have 2 in the Two of Cups, and we have 2 here in the Crossroads. So there's something about choices that are maybe coming under the microscope at this time for you to understand them a little bit better, to create more harmony, to create more alignment, to create more joy. And with the Eight of Swords in reverse, this is an energy of not limiting yourself to a particular experience, to what you are telling yourself you can or cannot achieve. I feel that there's something here being released in that regard, where you are opening yourself up to new possibilities and potential here. You're no longer limiting yourself to the past experiences that you've had. And maybe that's part of this healing with the Ten of Swords in reverse, is you're no longer ruminating, you're no longer worrying, you're no longer stressing about the things that you can't control. You're no longer saying, I can't do this, I can't do that, I have no choices in life. I feel like you're coming to terms with the fact that you do have choice even in difficulty, on how you decide to perceive, on how you decide to take your next action, and how you react to a specific trigger. And that could be something here too with the Eight of Swords, is that your nervous system is settling, because maybe you're finding more harmony in your interpersonal relationships. Maybe you're feeling more harmonious with yourself even. And from that place, you're going to manifest and create something new, because there is a balance. It first starts with you in that Magician energy, using all of your resources in equal measure. So it's not just having the fire and the passion, it's not just having the emotional attachment. It's about having equal amounts of everything, so that you can feel grounded, you can make discerning decisions and not limit yourself, so that we can show up as balanced and whole as possible, not necessarily 100% healed, because that is a journey and it's a lifelong journey, but to do our best to do the work for ourselves, so that we can attract people, experiences, and situations that align with that frequency and allow us to have new experiences with people that we haven't met yet. And I feel that is the energy that you're stepping into here. So this is what I have for you, my dear Soul Path 3. I do hope that was helpful. Thank you for visiting and sharing your story with me. It was such a pleasure, and I wish you luck on your path ahead. Until we meet again, stay curious, and I'll see you soon.